What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. Well, we're going to take a look at a couple of things today that I think you're going to find very interesting. One is the Bitcoin halving event, and also when mining difficulty starts showing signs of decreasing, as we've recently saw on the hashing of the Bitcoin blockchain. We're going to take a look at how that's played out in the past and how that's going to play out as we get into the halving event into 2020. I think you'll be pretty interested to see where we are in terms of price and expected price rises. All right, so let's take a look at that in this video.
Trade Genius.
Guys, before we get into that, real quick, I had some questions on our indicators. Basically, on the indicators that we're promoting on the Black Friday, what you want to do is you want to put a linear regression channel on these charts, and you want to find the stuff, and this is for just like your most simplest type of screening and entry. You want to find when the signals fire on the bottom of the linear regression channel and grab those entries. There's not a lot of alts that are in an up ascending channel, but we can point out a few here. This is QKC, BTC, Quark Chain. There's also Ripple, BTC. That's an example of one that fired. Again, you don't want to take anything that's like a sell on the bottom of the channel. You want to take buys at the bottom of the channel. So here was another one that fired. And you could trail your stop up or get out when an opposite signal fires, or move your stop up to break even and write it out and see if it makes a higher low. A couple different ways you can do that at your discretion. But these are the kind of setups that you want to see as far as entries. I'll show you another one, Lumens, XLM, BTC. Again, you want a rising channel. There's not a ton of coins out there with a rising channel. You see how you got a couple of signals that fired here and it was outside the channel? That's what you want to see, guys. And if you're interested in those indicators, head over to tradelikeagenius.com. We got about 5 days left on these Black Friday specials. So these are marked down as low as they're going to be for the year, guys. Renewals, if you want to renew, this is a great time to do that. Binary options, our chat room, our stock calls. If you're beginning, this is special number 2 is really good for you. If you're into the crypto and binary options, this is a great course too here. Otherwise, check out these. This is for the ETF, and the best value has a major bundle there. If you buy this one here, you'll buy one and you can get one free as a gift. So check those out, guys. tradelikeagenius.com. All right, so what we're going to get into here is the events that I'm talking about are Bitcoin halving and Bitcoin difficulty reduction. So let's check that out. All right, so the first thing I want to show you guys is when the Bitcoin price relates to decreases in the Bitcoin difficulty. Okay, so if we look at Bitcoin difficulty, we've just had a drop. These aren't very common, but normally Bitcoin difficulty continues to go up. This is only the second time it's decreased this year. Prior to that, the difficulty went down back in July 29th, or July 19th, excuse me, difficulty drop. All right, so now if you look at this screenshot here, this is from elementgroup.com. They do analysis, but they highlighted in red here where there are mining difficulties drops. And so if you noticed around areas where you have major cyclical bottoms, you're going to see areas where it's lit up red. Now 2012 obviously is a pretty different story. I think I'd probably relate more to this market structure and the advent of the Chinese mining more toward this area here. But as you can see, as things kind of bottomed out, we started to see more and more of these drops in difficulty. So we've just kind of seen, there's one here, you can't really see with that circle, but there's one here. So starting from here on out, I would be looking to see how many more difficulty drops we get over the course of, let's say, 2 to 3 months. If we start seeing this pattern here, you could probably rest assured that we're probably close, if not already into a bottom that's been put in, and we can start seeing a move up. Okay, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. But I thought this framed that scenario pretty well, and we're starting to see first of a difficulty drop in this consolidating area that we're in, trying to find a bottom here. And obviously the way that works is if the miners aren't powerful enough or inefficient, obviously if price drops, they're going to start dropping out. So we're starting to see, I think, where price is challenging the 5K area, and you might be starting to see that effect. But those typically, historically, especially from the last major bottom of 2014, 2015, those are signs that the bottom is near. Okay, the next thing I want to show you guys is the halving events. Okay, so these are these yellow lines. And if you notice on this, you'll see that I kind of over here, I marked where the bottom was before the halving event. So back in 2012, you had 348 calendar days before the halving event, and then followed by 394 days where you saw the top. Okay, and that was that top late 2013 that followed the last major pullback correction cycle, 2014, 2015. Then in 2015, we put in a bottom 504 days prior to the Bitcoin halving, okay? Then it peaked out 564 days after the halving at our most recent all-time high, just shy of 20K. So you can notice, interesting thing here is that the amount of time before and after kind of correlates in length from when these two events happen versus the prior bottoms, or the bottoms that were put in prior to the halving event. Okay, now if you go forward, okay, so I put a couple of scenarios here of, since we've had a couple of samples now of possible bottom time before the halving event, 504 bars and 348 bars here. But if that's the case, and we might see a bottom here, sometime between now and, let's say, first quarter of 2019, right? Then this would follow suit on this price trajectory. This is going to be, this line here is May 23rd, 2020. That's the approximate time where the next halving is going to happen. And then that would take us out approximately, if we took kind of a mixture of, these time frames, I just call it 477 bars, just because it kind of fits the profile of where these halving events are kind of in this halfway point between a bottom and a top. You're going to be looking at something like September of 2021 and price range somewhere, I would say, between $90,000 and $100,000 Bitcoin. Again, because of these up cycles and just a finite amount of Bitcoin around is where you get these valuations. Nobody thought that we'd be talking about 20,000 Bitcoin from May 2016 to December 2017. So Bitcoin always has this real high potential for really big and fast moves, relatively speaking. So I thought I would just share that with you guys. So if you're, based on past cycles, you'd be looking at basically dollar cost averaging in this area, right? And then waiting for things to pick back up as they do in these cycles. And then as we start heading toward those halving events, always a nice decent rise into the halving events, and then it continues to spike up after that on previous ones. So good time to be in, looking at the macro picture, guys, of starting to leg in. I know everybody wants really cheap Bitcoin, and some of the guys that have missed the boat want like $1,000 Bitcoin, but you have to be realistic about these expectations. If you're gonna dollar cost average in here when you can on Bitcoin, you're looking at some pretty explosive gains in the future. And why Bitcoin and not anything else? Well, Bitcoin's right now just the front runner, the oldest chain. A lot of things can be built on top of it with layer 2. So when you have the oldest, most tested chain, you kind of have to go with what the smart money is going after, and that's definitely Bitcoin. And then we'll see as these funds come out if they start diversifying into any other thing. But you kind of want to focus on the leader, on the king of what's going on here. So that's going to be Bitcoin for the time being. Okay, guys, and that's a long-term. We're talking long-term HODL stuff. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Please hit like and subscribe. Again, check out those specials we got going till Black Friday. And always appreciate you guys watching our videos. So we'll see you on tomorrow's video. We'll talk about the weekly outlook on Bitcoin price for you swing traders. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Trade Genius.